Every single major platform right now is leaning heavily into generating more watch time directly from short-form content. Seriously, this means that people are choosing to scroll through 45 minutes of bite-sized clips instead of queuing up a full episode on their favorite streaming service. That endlessly flowing, snackable format is decisively beating long-form content for capturing attention in the current landscape. The incredible benefit is that if you master short-form creation, that single piece of content can then live everywhere from TikTok to YouTube Shorts from one original edit. For any ambitious marketer or dedicated content creator, establishing that kind of efficient system is essentially the realization of a long-held professional dream. I am genuinely glad you decided to tune in today because I want to walk you through building a true short-form video factory, not just creating sporadic one-offs. We are aiming for a system that guarantees consistency, consistently drives up your view count, and successfully converts that attention into tangible business results. To be completely candid, I used to be one of those people who actively wanted absolutely nothing to do with TikTok. I personally found the platform to be excessively loud, unnecessarily chaotic, and generally full of content that simply did not align with my personal taste. However, that all changed once I actually witnessed the undeniable success it brought to a crypto influencer, my own developing brand, and several key clients. I then made a committed effort to learn precisely how to systematize the entire process, and once that critical understanding clicked into place, everything shifted dramatically for the better. Let me share a quick story to illustrate this point. A close acquaintance showed me a TikTok channel he was actively building all around the subject of cryptocurrency. I honestly remember rolling my eyes at the combination of crypto and TikTok, but he was simultaneously achieving absurd levels of growth simply by posting quality content every single day. He firmly stated that if they could just successfully build a foundational system, they could replicate that exact model for many other brands moving forward. They presented us with a truly staggering goal. They needed 90 distinct videos produced and published every single month without fail. I genuinely thought he must have been joking at first, believing such a high volume was completely out of the realm of possibility for any creator. Yet, we proceeded to build an incredibly repeatable process that covered scripting, filming, the actual editing, and the final posting steps, effectively constructing a content machine. In that very first month of operation, we managed to produce one video that went completely viral, resulting in a sudden influx of 5,000 new followers. Just a few short weeks after that initial success, the follower count had already impressively doubled again to hit the 10,000 mark. By the time we reached the end of the third month, the channel had successfully surpassed a significant milestone of over 100,000 engaged followers. Crucially, the exact same systematic process we developed proved to be just as effective when we immediately applied it to a completely different client brand. That undeniable external proof was the exact moment I personally stopped being a skeptic and started approaching social media with deliberate, structured intention. I share this background story because the underlying mechanics of this success are absolutely repeatable across various niches and industries. More importantly, I want you to clearly see the profound value in establishing a concrete system and embracing the power of batch production for your content. The majority of creators and marketers approach this entire social media landscape in the completely wrong, inefficient way. They wake up in the morning, immediately feel a wave of panic, and then ask themselves the unhelpful question, what on earth should I post today? This reactive process forces them to create just one single post at a time, which almost inevitably leads straight to complete creative burnout within a short period. The significantly better, more strategic question to ask yourself is actually this: how can I produce 30 or even 90 posts entirely ahead of time? The goal is to maintain absolute posting consistency going forward without ever having to compromise your own sanity in the process. So, let us now systematically break down the core framework of this powerful, repeatable system that we are championing today. The foundational blueprint remains the exact same core skeleton for every single piece of content you generate. It's scripting, then filming, then editing, and finally, the essential act of posting it out. However, I am now going to provide you with the truly practical, real-world playbook that you can actually implement starting this afternoon. Furthermore, I will introduce a specific tool that has the documented power to save you literally hours of tedious work every single week. I am talking about Vizard. I am not going to stealthily bury this mention like some kind of sneaky advertisement. I will explicitly show you how it integrates into the exact steps I am about to describe. The reason I highlight it is because Vizard actually solves the most frustrating headaches that most competing tools completely fail to address for high-volume creators. Let us begin with step 1, the crucial phase of scripting, which is legitimately the most valuable asset in this entire operation. Your very first action should be to start by outlining specific repeatable formats rather than trying to generate entirely random, unique ideas for every single post. You absolutely should not approach every single new piece of content as if it were a brand new, unsolvable logistical problem that requires fresh thinking. Instead, you need to select a handful of proven video types that you can easily batch produce with high effectiveness. Here are 7 specific formats that are currently demonstrating consistent, winning performance across all the popular short-form platforms. First, niche news involves giving very quick takes and immediate reactions to whatever is currently trending within your specific industry segment. Second, FAQ clips are excellent for answering genuine customer questions in a concise format lasting between 15 and 60 seconds maximum. Third, utilize green screen reactions, where you simply overlay a screenshot of an article or a tweet and record your immediate vocal reaction to it. Fourth, listicles, such as presenting 3 essential tips for success in X, are inherently fast, highly scannable, and drive fantastic viewer retention. Fifth, short tutorials that provide step-by-step visual demonstrations are invaluable because they immediately showcase tangible worth to the viewer. Sixth, consider repurposed highlights, where you strategically pull the absolute best moments from longer existing videos like podcasts or interviews. And finally, the seventh format involves creating direct reaction or duet-style videos where you respond to other trending creators or popular established formats. The real creative secret here is to develop at least 10 strong, attention-grabbing hooks for every single format you intend to batch film across your schedule. Remember that a hook is simply that very first sentence spoken, and it serves as the crucial initial attention-grabbing element for the viewer. This initial sentence is truly the ultimate difference between someone immediately scrolling past you or choosing to stay and watch for a full 45 seconds. Effective hooks can be highly provocative, genuinely surprising, deeply empathetic, or immediately useful for the intended audience. Consider examples like, "Here is precisely why you are currently wasting a significant portion of your advertising budget right now," or "Stop implementing this single flawed tactic with your real strategy." Or perhaps something highly specific and helpful like, "Discover 3 simple yoga poses that can effectively fix that chronic lower back pain you are constantly dealing with." Now that you have your 10 to 30 polished scripts and hooks ready, your next logical move is to schedule a dedicated filming day for efficiency. You must record all of your planned content in large, dedicated blocks because this keeps your mental energy focused and ensures superior on-camera consistency. Surprisingly, the actual quality of the camera equipment and the complexity of your lighting setup matter far less than you might currently believe. What truly matters most is the genuine human connection you manage to establish with the viewer sitting on the other end of the screen. When you are recording, look directly into the lens as if you are having a one-on-one, personal conversation with a single individual. Always use the word "you" frequently in your delivery to make the message feel immediately personal and highly relevant to the watcher. Strive to sound like an authentic, relatable human being having a natural conversation, not like a detached corporate robot reading a script. If you absolutely must acquire some basic gear, a simple lapel microphone, a relatively decent lens if you own a dedicated camera, and a soft key light are perfectly sufficient starting points. However, even a standard phone camera used inside your car can easily outperform a full, expensive studio setup if your content itself is exceptionally compelling and resonates deeply. Let's cover a few practical filming habits that can significantly streamline your actual execution in front of the lens. Whenever the script allows for it, practice recording in single-sentence takes because that method makes the subsequent editing process much simpler. To inject immediate, palpable energy into your performance, consider having another person physically present in the room with you while you are recording. It is often beneficial to physically stand up while delivering your lines, or at least move around a bit after a quick warm-up to help loosen up your posture. Please resist the strong urge to obsess over constantly changing your wardrobe. Content consistency will always significantly beat having 6 different wardrobe changes. Moving on to step 3, editing, which is precisely the phase where the powerful capabilities of Vizard become genuinely interesting to explore. The editing stage is unfortunately the precise location where the overwhelming majority of content creators find themselves completely and totally stuck. There are 3 incredibly simple but non-negotiable rules that I relentlessly push every single person in my orbit to follow during this phase. Rule number 1, ruthlessly kill every single instance of unnecessary dead space. Cut out that cringe-worthy millennial pause to keep your clip incredibly tight. The inherent nature of successful short-form content strongly rewards a consistently fast and engaging pace from start to finish. Rule number 2 requires you to permanently burn your high-quality captions directly into the video file itself, no exceptions allowed. This is absolutely essential because most people are inevitably going to consume your content with their device sound completely turned off initially. Rule number 3 is critical. Never attempt to edit your clips natively inside of each separate platform's application environment. If your ultimate goal is to post high-quality content everywhere, you must export one master asset and diligently reuse that file across all channels. While editing directly in TikTok might provide a small short-term reach boost, it completely sabotages your entire crucial batch workflow structure. And here is the real industry game changer that separates the professionals from the amateurs. Many creators still manually spend hours combing through hours of raw footage. They are hunting manually for those fleeting golden 30 to 60 second moments that will actually resonate with the audience and drive engagement. This entire laborious process is what Vizard has been specifically designed to fully automate for you through its powerful core technology. Its sophisticated artificial intelligence is trained to intelligently identify potential viral moments buried deep within your existing long-form video assets. The system then isolates those high-engagement segments and generates ready-to-post, perfectly trimmed clips directly for your immediate use. This completely eliminates the guessing game about which specific 60 seconds are most likely to actually land well with your target viewers. The AI surfaces these highly promising candidates for you based on complex engagement signals, visual saliency, and the overall pacing of the original segment. Now, let's quickly compare this specific functionality to the capabilities offered by other widely used editing applications in the market. Descript is admittedly excellent for handling transcriptions and performing very basic, straightforward cuts based on text edits. CapCut remains a very solid option when you need creative, immediate mobile edits, and Premiere Pro is undeniably the reigning king for complete, absolute manual control. The major drawback with those options is that they still either require you to manually hunt for those highlights, have steep initial learning curves, or demand expensive subscription fees. Vizard successfully sits right in that perfect, valuable sweet spot. It automatically picks the absolute juiciest moments for you, formats them for multiple platforms, and exports captions automatically. In essence, this powerful tool handles the overwhelming bulk of the tedious grunt work, allowing you to dedicate your time exclusively to the creative direction. Next is step 4, the critical process of repurposing and distribution, which is where your sanity gets saved through proper management. Once all your polished clips are completely finalized, the entire focus immediately shifts to maximizing your potential reach through wide distribution. Manually posting the same finalized asset to every single platform every day quickly becomes an absolute nightmare to manage effectively. This is precisely why establishing a content calendar and utilizing robust scheduling features will become the ultimate savior for your mental well-being. Some creators make the naive assumption that a raw TikTok will perform identically well when posted directly over to a professional LinkedIn feed, which is rarely true. Different networks inherently reward different types of context, tone, and specific caption language, so you must at least slightly tweak the presentation. The good news, however, is that you never have to go back and redesign the entire creative concept from a blank slate for each platform. Vizard assists greatly in this final stage too, as it facilitates not only the clip creation, but also the essential scheduling and calendar management functions. The auto-schedule feature can initially feel incredibly strange, but you simply set your desired frequency, select optimal posting windows, and let the AI queue everything up. Then, you can easily preview exactly how each individual clip will look specifically adapted for every single network before you finally hit the official publish button. Tools like Buffer or Later are perfectly fine for standard scheduling, but they certainly cannot magically create the clips or select the most viral parts from your long videos. That proprietary ability to automatically source the most engaging segments from raw footage is the actual critical missing link in most workflows. Here are a few very practical tips to keep in mind as you begin pushing your newly batched content out onto the various networks. If a platform like TikTok or YouTube Shorts heavily prioritizes natively uploaded content, you should post there first and then use a republishing tool as a secondary push if needed. If you decide to outsource the actual final posting step, ensure the person handling it is located within the same country and time zone as your primary target audience. Little platform signals like local posting time can unfortunately have a surprisingly large impact on your overall initial reach and performance metrics. You must absolutely maintain a consistent posting cadence. The simple combination of quantity paired with reasonable quality is what ultimately wins the game. It is genuinely much better to release consistent, slightly imperfect content regularly than it is to over-optimize one piece and end up posting only once per month. For those of you still choosing to handle the editing process yourself without an AI assistant, here are a few key applications you should definitely know about. CapCut is an excellent, nearly free option that is highly mobile-friendly and specifically engineered for the constraints of modern short-form creation. Premiere Pro remains the uncontested champion for power users who require complete, granular manual control over every single exported parameter. And any one of the various captions apps available represent the absolute fastest way to burn those necessary, readable subtitles directly into your video file. But to reiterate the main point, if your established workflow involves constantly moving from long video to many short clips, Vizard is where you see the best return on investment. Think of it as the ultimate, indispensable shortcut that takes you directly from hours of raw, unedited footage to a massive bank of perfectly captioned and trimmed viral-ready clips. Let us discuss a few specific retention hacks that I have personally observed to deliver consistent, measurable results across every format imaginable. First, you must always begin every single piece of content with a hook that is both exceptionally bold and highly specific to your niche. Second, aim to incorporate a very brief, satisfying mini arc within the short clip, featuring a distinct beginning, a fast middle section, and a clear, satisfying close. Third, you need to intentionally trigger an emotion in the viewer that generates high arousal, such as genuine surprise, deep curiosity, mild indignation, or pure delight. Content that only evokes low arousal feelings, like a simple "that's nice" or a lukewarm "meh" reaction, will almost never achieve significant organic spread. Fourth, consistently use effective stylized captions and on-screen text to powerfully reinforce your core spoken message for everyone watching without sound. Finally, you must edit everything with an aggressive, rapid pace, ensuring you trim out every single unnecessary breath, meaningless pause, or common filler word. Let us do a quick live demonstration using an improv scenario to show this process in its purest form. Imagine you have just finished recording a substantial 90-minute podcast episode covering the essential elements of digital marketing strategy. With the power of Vizard, you simply upload that entire lengthy episode, and the AI instantly returns about 20 potential highlight clips for your review. These generated clips might include titles like "Why short-form content now completely dominates long-form viewership," or "One single ad trick that successfully doubled our ROAS figures." The system might even suggest clips based on common audience curiosity, such as "You are implementing your posting strategy entirely wrong if this is true." Your only remaining tasks are to quickly review those suggested segments, maybe slightly tweak a caption or two for absolute perfection, and then schedule them across the entire upcoming month. Boom! Just like that, you have successfully generated an entire month's worth of high-potential short-form content derived from a single, initial long-form interview. That specific capability of automating the highlight identification process is where the true transformative power of this approach is clearly demonstrated. I frequently encounter the very logical question from people watching this: why should I choose Vizard over powerful alternatives like Descript or simply hiring a dedicated editor? Let me give you the completely honest and unfiltered assessment, the real tea, on these different options available to you right now. Descript is undeniably fantastic when your editing needs are primarily based on transcriptions or when you are just snipping simple podcast segments. However, even with Descript, you are still required to manually designate and select those specific highlight segments for the AI to process effectively. If you are performing this daily task, that necessary manual selection step immediately transforms into a significant, frustrating bottleneck in your entire pipeline. CapCut, as we mentioned, is superb for creative mobile editing, but it remains fundamentally just a video editor, not an AI content sourcing agent. It will not magically analyze your hour of footage to find the single most viral 60-second moment that you desperately need for maximum impact. Hiring traditional human editors will definitely get the job done correctly, but that route is undeniably both expensive and painfully slow when you require true scale. Vizard's primary, unmatched edge lies in its powerful combination: AI-powered highlight discovery, export-ready clip generation, and automated caption burning all in one place. That specific combination significantly reduces the total time taken from capturing raw footage all the way to having a publishable optimized asset by a truly massive margin. Furthermore, the pricing structure is thoughtfully designed so that individual creators and smaller teams can actually utilize it without constantly bleeding unnecessary cash on hourly rates. Let us look at a couple of real-world examples where creators have seen tangible, positive performance wins directly attributed to this system. I have personally witnessed creators who used to dedicate multiple full days to manually pulling clips, now churning out 30 perfectly good clips in just a single afternoon. One creator I know personally managed to increase their posting frequency from once per week to 3 times every single week, which immediately resulted in consistent audience spikes. That change in volume and improved posting timing led directly to a noticeable and steady bump in qualified leads coming in, even without drastically changing the core creative quality. Here are my final, critical notes on exactly how you can begin implementing this superior workflow starting as soon as tomorrow morning. First, immediately audit all of your existing long-form content, specifically focusing on older podcasts, past interviews, or recorded webinars you already possess. Next, take the time to create a targeted list of 10 distinct hooks for every single content type you have identified that you want to rigorously test out first. Then, you upload that chosen long video directly into the Vizard platform, review the suggested clips, quickly tweak any necessary captions, and export the finalized assets. After export, immediately use the built-in content calendar feature to schedule those new posts across all of your primary channels like TikTok, Shorts, and Instagram Reels. The final step involves consistently tracking the actual performance metrics, iterating based on the data, and aggressively keeping only the strategies that clearly prove they work. Listen closely. This entire process is emphatically not some form of genuine magic or overnight miracle that requires no effort on your part. You absolutely still need to possess genuinely good original content ideas and maintain a face or a voice that people actually want to follow and engage with. What Vizard successfully removes from the equation is the immense soul-crushing labor of finding, formatting, captioning, and staying consistent with your output schedule. In this modern digital age, where short-form reigns supreme in capturing audience attention, simple consistency is arguably the single greatest unfair advantage you can possess. If you are still harboring some level of healthy skepticism after hearing all this, I urge you to simply try it on a single 1-hour podcast episode today. See for yourself precisely how many usable clips the AI pulls out and how dramatically little time it takes compared to the painful process of digging through the raw file yourself. the statistical probability is extremely high that you will be genuinely surprised by both the quantity and the quality of the results it generates for you. So that is the complete scalable system we have discussed. Plan your winning formats, batch out all your scripts, film everything in focused blocks, and then use AI to isolate those viral moments. You will be posting consistently, steadily building a dedicated audience, and finally transforming those hard-earned views into something that actually contributes meaningfully to your business objectives. If you need a definitive starting point right now for integrating Vizard into your production, I strongly recommend starting with their free trial or a quick demo session. Test the platform thoroughly with just one of your longer interview or podcast episodes to truly gauge its immediate efficiency against your current manual process. And hey, if you feel inclined, please feel free to send me a direct message after you have tried it. I will personally share a checklist I use for developing killer hooks and a simple, copyable sample content calendar. Ultimately, I encourage you to go out there right now and start consistently creating the kind of content that people genuinely want to watch all the way through to the very end.